This is Kelso Sturgeon. Thank you very much for tuning in to another session of my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping. Today is Monday, April the 16th. I'll be back here Wednesday morning with my next report. Include a lot about the NBA, the coming NBA playoffs, and Major League Baseball. I'd like to start on baseball a little bit today before we get into the NBA playoffs and what's happening here for the rest of the NBA season. You know, I'm having an outstanding baseball season. You can play for just $10 a day. You can get the entire baseball season for just $199 and play right through the World Series in October. I'm winning. I'm winning with underdogs. You know, there's one thing that I know is a tried and true method of beating baseball, and it was taught to me by a man who's made his life's fortune doing just that. You know, when I analyze some of these games, and those of you who've been on board already realize that I'm using and winning with a lot of underdogs. You know, when you handicap a baseball game and you can't separate the two teams and the pitchers are basically equal and you can't find any edge that tilts it one way or the other, you know, that's a sign that maybe you ought to go with the underdog. And I've been doing that. Anytime I can make a 50-50 case for each team in each game and a 50-50 case for each pitcher to win, I go with the dog. And as I say, if you've been with me this season, you know just how successful that's been. In fact, I've been probably winning with at least one underdog every single day of the season. I realize it's young, but nothing is going to happen to change that. You've got a lot of teams that are overrated, some that are underrated, and in many situations, when that 50-50 ratio pops up, the underdog's the side, period. It's as simple as that. Why wouldn't you want to take a plus 125 rather than lay a minus 135 when the plus 125 has just as much a chance to win as does the favorite laying that minus 135. Just a couple of observations on some teams. I think the Los Angeles Angels have been quite a disappointment thus far. The talent is there. It's just not happening. But it's early in the season. We're only 9 games in. But I'm going to lay off the Angels for a while and not use them until they show me that they can put a game together in which they're hitting the ball and that the pitching is there too. Needless to say, the Washington Nationals, a giant surprise, are 7-3. And they've shown me something in these games that quite impressive. They're a true grit baseball team. They don't fall apart. It doesn't matter whether they're on the lead or coming from behind or whatever. They play right to the end. It's the reason they're 7-3. They won some close games this season that a team with lesser focus would have lost. You know, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals. Everybody said, well, when they lost Albert Pujols and a couple of other players, this was going to be a long, long season for St. Louis. Well, they're 7-3 in first place in their in the National League Central, and they look to me like a top-flight baseball team. Biggest disappointment in the National League has to be the Philadelphia Phillies. Even though they're 4-5, they're not playing good baseball at all. Can't figure it out, but I've got them on kind of a caution list also. The Dodgers are 9-1. Probably not that good to say the least, but you know, you can ride that train till it comes off the tracks. The Arizona Diamondbacks playing good baseball, 6-3. San Diego just doesn't have the goods, and there's a reason that they're 2-8 at this juncture of the season. But once again, remember, you can play baseball every day for just $10. You can get all the games right here on this website, toll free at 1-800-755-2255. Or get the entire baseball season for just $199. Play every day right through the World Series. And by the way, that includes the 25-unit baseball game of the week and the 50-unit baseball game of the month. Now let's get into the NBA just briefly here. You know, the NBA playoffs start 1 week from this coming Saturday. There's a lot that's yet to be decided. And take the Chicago Bulls, who have the best record in the NBA right now. They're still battling to make certain that they tie up that number one spot with their one-loss record, so they have the home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Breathing right down their necks, though, is the San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City, and the Miami Heat. So even the top teams have something to play for right now. You've got teams like the Atlanta Hawks that are battling to just get a first round or get the home court advantage in a first round playoff series. Also, a reminder: the format this year is the same as it was last year. The first round of the playoffs is a best of 5. The next 2 rounds and the finals are a best of 7 proposition, but those games are being played on a 2-2-1-1-1 format. The championship round will be 2-3-2. So just something to keep in mind. You know, I'm big on teams that win on the road, and as amazing as it is, you know that there's only 7 teams in the NBA right now, 7 of the 30, that have won on the road. And it bodes well for some of them in the playoffs. Orlando's included in that group, but I've written Orlando off. There's too many internal problems, too many internal struggles there. But here's the teams that have won on the road in the NBA this season. They will have an edge in some of the playoff games. The Chicago Bulls are 22-8 on the road, an amazing record. Oklahoma City 19-10. The San Antonio Spurs 17-11. By the way, how about those Spurs? 16-3 in the last 19 games. Somebody told me they were too old. And then you've got Miami, Indiana, the Los Angeles Clippers, and Orlando with modest winning road record. Just keep in mind that good teams win on the road. One thing that scares me about Miami, you know, here's a team that's 7-5 favorite to win the NBA championships, but as you read on my website today, there's a chink in that armor. The Heat are 2-8 on the road against teams with winning records. Might mean something when it's all over. You can get the entire NBA playoff package that includes the rest of the NBA season, 2 weeks of Major League Baseball for just $99 charged to your major credit card, or you can play the NBA every day for just $10 a day. Once again, baseball and basketball available on this site every single day. Toll free at 1-800-755-2255. Play for just $10 a day, or come in for those bargain packages in baseball and basketball, including the NBA playoffs. All major credit cards accepted. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back here Wednesday with my next report.